This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stockbox interview. Welcome back to the research talks here on Stockbox with sick Alan Green this morning. Alan, I'm sorry people will pick up, I'm sure, when they hear you talking, but you're struggling a little bit, aren't you?
Yes, thank you for waiting today, Mark. It's been a bit of an overnight and morning, really. It's I have a sore throat, as you can probably hear, and had to wait to get some medication in, but I've resorted to blackcurrant and honey, which seems to be doing the trick. So hopefully I can hold us together for this little.
Yes, let's hope so. The last hurrah before perhaps you can sign off for the weekend and get some rest. So today we're going to be covering Oxford Cannabinoid, a company which has been around for a while, getting a bit of an update on what's going on there, and also just a general quick update on First Class Metals as well, who of course IPO'd just today. We covered them, I think, 2 weeks ago on the podcast, but just a quick recap, seeing as they IPO'd today and it's finally gone ahead and been successful. So,
indeed.
Oxford Cannabinoid first, Alan?
Oxford Cannabinoid Technologies, yes. So this is a company that's listed on both the LSE and the company was formed or really came together as an entity in 2017 to develop a range of next generation cannabinoid prescription medicines, as the name would imply. Epicode, of course, OCTP. Shares are currently trading at 0.92p today. The shares are up today, which is always good to see. And that's from a year low of 0.7p and a year high of 3.4p. So clearly, along with the rest of the market, Oxford Cannabinoid shares have suffered, but not perhaps to the extent that some of its peer group have. So that gives the company a market cap of 8.49 million. And of course, we've all heard about how cannabis and CBD oils and cannabinoid products are being brought into the market, and of course they have to deal with the legalities and the issues around the cannabis. But of course, this is looked at medicinal cannabis, and from that, of course, there are many forms of a product that can be extracted to create or provide treatments. So Oxford Cannabinoid, their strategy is to use a fast-track drug development process, lowers developmental risks and costs, and it also shortens the time frame to get to commercialization without compromising on safety and efficacy testing. I know that sounds like sales blur, but that's the strategy the company employs. And of course, cannabinoids themselves, these are actually molecules that interact with cannabinoid receptors, and we all produce receptors as human beings, and mammals and plants also produce various receptors too. They're called PCBs or phytocannabinoids, and our system, the human system, which is the endocannabinoid system, ECS receptors, are found in the brain and the nervous system adjacent to the brain, and of course that system, if you like, is responsible for pain, motor, memory, behavior, and also a number of other states of being, if you like. So of course, when a patient or a person is suffering from pain or neurology pain or motor neuronal pain, and of course, if they're suffering from cancer, then there is a methodology employed by the company to treat using the cannabinoid technology to actually treat, if you like, the cannabinoids meet the receptors and can actually treat the pain accordingly. This is a huge market. I mean, the size of the market globally is some 42.5 billion. And of course, if we look at pain per se, you have to break it down into different sectors. And Oxford's Cannabinoid understand the market very well. The global market for migraines is worth some 6.3 billion. Visceral pain is worth over 12 billion. Fibromyalgia, 1.5 billion. Lower back pain, 7.5 billion, and that's something I suffer from as a result of a semi-prolapsed disc. And then, of course, the pain resulting from cancer, that's a huge market, some 5.4 billion. Musculoskeletal pain. Musculoskeletal pain is 2.8 billion, and of course neuropathic pain, and there are all sorts of neuropathic pain. So a lot of the pain is results from various disorders, and these of course are multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, even epilepsy, rheumatoid and osteoarthritis, and of course cancer. So Oxford Cannabinoid have developed a range of programs to develop cannabinoid technology to meet and to deal with this. The most advanced program is Program 1, OCT 461201, and this is treatment is being advanced by the chemical giant Evotec along with OCT, and this is targeting neuropathic and visceral pain resulting from treatments such as chemotherapy, and of course the neuralgia that a lot of people suffer from, and also it's being developed to treat IBS, which of course is irritable bowel syndrome. So the company has seen some developments with Program 1 this year. On March the 8th, Oxford announced that data from Program 1 research showed that it successfully reduced pain in a preclinical animal model relating to cancer. So obviously the data that had come back was very positive in that regard. We then move on to this month, of course, July, where the company announced a master service agreement with a company called Simbec, huge clinical company, to commence the first human phase clinical trial for developing Program 1 starting Q1 next year. So that's a big step forward to taken the treatment or the treatment Program 1 all the way through to the point where you're starting clinical trial is a huge step forward. You know, make no mistake about it. I mean, we've spoken about clinical trials for other drugs when we've spoken about other companies, and the steps the company has to go through to get to this point they're absolutely huge. So Program 2, this treatment program targets trigeminal neuralgia, which is loosely translated means severe face pain. And of course, we've spoken before about orphan drugs, the company Open Orphan and others. Orphan drugs are drugs that are difficult to develop and therefore are accorded orphan status. And in that regard, a period of time is allocated to that drug to allow the company to develop it. So Program 2 is also the company announced in its full year results, that was a few days ago, that Program 2 was on track also for phase 1 clinical trial in Q4 this year, so even closer, which is great news. So there are two drugs really on the runway to develop and undertake these trials, and of course at the end of those trials, you'll often see, has happened with other companies, you'll often see the big pharmaceutical companies get involved and maybe provide some sponsorship towards developing to the next phase or the next or the phase 2 clinical trial. So two other programs. Program 3 is developing a diversified phytocannabinoid (PCB) again for orphan exclusivity, and Program 4 is also a cannabinoid derivative to treat neuropathic pain derived from various conditions, including epilepsy and cancer. So there's an awful lot happening with the group. Back to the full year results statement, which is it's very important to sort of understand the work the company have done over the year. The company during the year has sealed agreements and partnerships with a number of companies. I mentioned Evotech is actually Aptuit Verona, which is an Evotech subsidiary. The Oxford Cannabinoid are developing Program 1 in conjunction with Aptuit Verona. Also partnerships with Oxford STEMtech, Dalriada Drug Discovery, Canopy Growth Corporation, and Charles Rivers Laboratories. The company ended the full year with cash of 9.2 million, and it said that the outlook for, or the near-term outlook for the group was hugely exciting, given that the clinical trials for both Program 1 and Program 2 are commencing. Obviously, Program 2 is commencing at the end of this year. Just a bit about the board. The chief executive, and certainly the very visible person within the group, is John Lucas. John has 20 years in the industry. He's very highly regarded. Worked previously with Genset, Transform Pharmaceuticals, and the UK, of course, Silence Therapeutics, Sizzle Biotechnology, and of course Venture Life. And John is heading up these the developments and reporting back to the markets. And then we have Julie Pomeroy, who's the non-exec chairperson. Julie has also worked as a non-exec director at Dillerstone PLC. She's also had roles at Biofutures, Carter & Carter, Western Medical, and also a board role at East Midlands Electric, and also Nottinghamshire University Hospital, and also Nottinghamshire NHS Trust. So, they're very, very much plugged into the industry in that regard, and very well placed, I would suggest, to develop this marvelous technology and take it to really ultimately develop the next generation of cannabinoid medicines. And again, just to go back to the beginning again, we've got a company that has been trading at a valuation well in excess of 25 million previously, now just worth 8.5 million. And I would suggest if this company were listed on the NASDAQ, it is dual listed, of course, in the US with the OTC market, but if it were listed on NASDAQ, I think we'd be looking at a valuation probably 4 to 5 times where we are now.
Yeah, okay. Just perhaps not appreciated by the London market at 7 million there, but there's a lot going on and some good credentials there from the board as well, really, isn't there?
Superb. I mean, it's worth going to the website. It's a very good website, actually, which really does show you around the work they've been doing. And also, there's a very good page on research partners, which shows the partners they're working with. I mean, I mentioned a few of them, but I mean, there are other companies: Purisys, Cerebro, Eurofins, of course, as well, Apconics, many others. So
they're big names.
They're huge names. And the thing is, this is the development of cannabinoids into medicine is hugely important. I think there's no doubt. It's widely recognised now the benefits that cannabis and the pain relief that the cannabis and cannabinoid products can bring to people suffering from conditions and from conditions such as cancer and neuropathic pain. It's widely documented, and we often see these tragic stories of young children who for various reasons can't receive the treatment here and go to other countries and receive it. But that is changing, and certainly with companies like Oxford Cannabinoid at the helm, I think this company's got a very exciting future, and they've they have a board that's got great, the board members have have real caliber. They have deep experience within the industry, and there are many other non-exec directors who have equally impressive CVs and portfolios that are, of course, all bringing their experience and knowledge to bear on developing this technology into the next generation of medicines.
Mm-hmm. In terms of just near-term news flow catalyst, Alan, what can the market look out for?
Well, I think near term, it's the clinical trials. So the first one is program 2, which is the trigeminal neuralgia, the face pain. That the phase 2 clinical trial is commencing in Q4. So that's literally a few months away. So we should start to hear about how that's progressing. I would imagine probably into November, December, and then of course Q1 next year we've got the program 1, which is the neuropathic and visceral pain drug development that's taking place with Evotec or the Evotec subsidiary Aptuit Verona, and that's commencing Q1. So there should be a good amount of news flow coming out of that time. But of course, in between time, we have the other programs that are being developed, and of course, I imagine that we're going to be hearing a lot more from the CEO toward the end of the year as the trials progress.
Excellent. Okay. Well, thank you very much for that. It's a good snapshot there of the company and what's to come. So let's see how they perform for the rest of this year. Want to keep an eye on for sure. So thank you for that, Alan. So a quick update on First Class Metals and FCM listed today.
FCM listed today, it did indeed. So First Class Metals, of course, has a portfolio of assets in Canada. That's in the Schreiber Hemlo Gold Belt, which is on the north coast of Lake Superior in Ontario. The company successfully raised 1.13 million at 10p per share this morning and came to market with a market capitalization of 6.56 million. And certainly looking at the share price at 10.5p, it's just held steady through the day. And I think I don't think there'll be any sellers at this level, simply because really at that sort of valuation, the company's assets aren't really represented. I think it's just the actual company itself and possibly the nominal value or the notional value of the licenses. There's nothing taking into account the work that's being done, of course. And if we actually look at, I'm just going to go to the website. So within the area the company are working, of course, this is the northern coastline of Lake Superior. The flagship asset is the North Hemlo asset, and this is contiguous with Palladium One's Tycho asset. Palladium One have undertaken a number of surveys in the region, and indeed, very shortly, the company will be undertaking work to drill 20 drill holes within the West Pickle Lake into an anomaly which is contiguous with Palladium One's Tycho asset. So this is really exciting. I mean, this is there's going to be a lot of news flow. The company sort of there's been a lot of information out there on social media this morning about the near-term news flow and what's likely, and because of the number of assets the group has, we're going to see an awful lot of exploration work, soil sampling, drilling work being undertaken very, very soon after the IPO. And this of course is the lifeblood really for a company that's listed on the stock market. It's important that investors see the money going into the ground, and of course results and grades coming back from that. But just a very quick overview of these assets. So I mentioned the North Hemlo asset to the east of that, we have the Sugar Cube asset, and this is contiguous with the Heart Sugar Zone, which is a 1.7 million ounce gold resource. And then, of course, to the south of North Hemlo, we have the Essa asset, and this is an asset that's between two giant granite batholiths, and there's a shear zone between the two that's been identified that the group will be examining. Prospecting scheduled for certainly 2022, 2023. Now these are all very close to the Barrick Hemlo gold mine, which has produced to date 21 million ounces of gold, and the anomalies that run through the Hemlo gold mine are contiguous with many of the geological anomalies that are found around there. In fact, the closest asset to the Barrick Hemlo gold mine is the Mckellar Assets, which is 9 kilometers to the northwest of Hemlo. So it's very much an extension, really, of that Barrick mine, and drilling has been planned by Barrick itself to the west of the Mckellar Assets. So it could very well be in the middle of a very exciting find. But of course, we're going to hear more about that as we go forward. Then if we move to the west, we have 3 assets. There's the Mckellar Assets, and Mckellar is a volcanic massive sulfide asset, zinc, copper, and silver. Again, there are sort of many other mines in the area, sort of between Magical and Mckellar. You've got the Generation PGM group with 8.6 million ounces of palladium, and then we go further west. We've got the Enable asset, and Enable is an asset that's 4 targets which are prospective for silver and gold have been identified there, and then furthest east, or furthest west, in fact, is Cocoa East, which decent gold and copper grades have been identified already at the Superior Lake asset, 2.7 million tons at 17.9% zinc, 0.8% copper, and 0.3% gold. Indicated resource just to the west of Cocoa East. So again, there's an awful lot of work going to be taking place in the next few months. The news flow is going to be tremendous, and it's a really exciting time for James Knowles and his team. And we're as shareholders, we're all expecting great things.
Good. Well, we should be, shouldn't we, as shareholders, always expecting great things of the companies we invest in. Otherwise, why do we invest?
Why would we invest? Indeed, yeah.
Indeed, yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad we've got an update there, Alan. Thank you for that. Of course, they're listed today. So yeah, let's see. Now they're on the market. Now it's over to them to deliver on what they said they want to achieve. So let's again watch this space with First Class Metals. But thank you very much. I wish you a very pleasant, relaxing, and maybe silent weekend.
Yes. I'll give the voice rest now. Yes.
Give the voice a rest, yeah. And we will speak to you again, possibly next week or the week after. It depends on how things are going on the markets, with things being a little bit quiet. But thank you, Alan Green, for your time today.
Thank you, Mark.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like, or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stopboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.